Hi folks, Cormac here, not in the kitchen at the moment, but where I am is a nice little cool spot not too far from the house, and I'm going to pick some nettles. So what I'm going to do is going to make a really nice quiche using these nettles, some nice ghost cheese and a little bit of red onion, and it's going to be awesome. So let's get picking. Don't forget the gloves. Just pick the top pieces because the harder ones aren't that nice, they're quite stringy, so you want to try and pick younger ones if possible. So here we are back in the kitchen again after our little trip to get the nettles. So first step, we need to make our pastry. So we'll start that now and get that resting. That needs to rest for at least half an hour to an hour, otherwise it'll shrink when we bake it. After that then, we're going to make sure our nettles are completely washed. There's nothing strange on there, nothing we don't want to eat, no insects or whatever else could be lurking inside there. We're going to blanch them then for about 5 minutes in salted water. We're going to refresh them or put them into cold water to stop the cooking, and then we're going to squeeze out as much liquid as possible, and then we're going to chop them up before they get mixed in. We're going to put in also a red onion, sliced, probably half a red onion. My quiche ring is, tart ring, whatever you want to call it, is small. So you might want to bulk up a bit more on what you're going to put into yours if you've got a deep one. If I had a deep one I'd use it, but I don't, so I'm going to be using this one. Ghost cheese here I'm going to be using, St. Tola's from Clare, I think. But it's a really nice one, it's a nice soft one as well, so that's going to go really well. It's not going to overpower the nettles too much, it's going to have a nice little bite with the red onion, a bit of sweetness when I kind of sweat these off. And it's probably going to take about 3 eggs and about, how much is that? I'm going to probably use about half of this, so that's say 175 mil, 150, 125 mil even cream, 3 eggs, give or take. If I've got something left over from the mix, I'm just going to make scrambled eggs, something out of it tomorrow, because I don't really know how much I'm going to fit inside in this, but let's get making the pastry anyway and see how we go from there. So for our pastry we're going to need 110 grams softened butter. I like to use a bit of semolina, 45 grams, you don't have to use this, it does give a nice texture. 180 grams plain flour and a whole beaten egg. Put in a pinch of salt as well, and then mix our dry ingredients together first, and then we're going to rub in our butter. Alright, when it's looking like that, we can put our egg in. It should be kind of looking a bit like breadcrumbs. Now you don't want to over mix this, or else it's going to shrink a lot more on you and it'll be kind of chewy. So I just want to bring it together into a shape that just about holds, and then I'm going to empty it onto my board, and we'll just give it a light knead till it comes together into a smooth ball, and then we're going to pop it into the fridge. And this is the time where I usually put on my oven. It'll take a while for your oven to preheat, so preheat your oven to about 180 there, and you can put this in the fridge, and by the time this is rested your oven will be ready to go. While we're waiting on our pastry now, we're going to pick off the leaves off the nettles that aren't going to be used, the stalks, the stems, good wash, and we're going to blanch them in boiling salted water. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes, then we're going to take them out, put them into cold water to stop the cooking. Now we can get on to rolling out our pastry. I usually use 2 sheets of cling film to do this. It means you don't have to add any more flour, and it stops it from breaking and makes it way easier. Definitely recommend you try it, but you don't have to do that. Just make sure that it fits the tin properly, and we're going to give it another quick rest in the fridge. Next up we can work on our filling, so we're going to slice some red onion and sweat it off, a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper. Then we're going to squeeze out all the water from the nettles, use a couple of pieces of towel, get everything out there, finally shred them, put them aside.
Now we're going to line our tin with our rested pastry. Just be sure not to break it. Put it in gently, push it all the way around, and take away the cling film. So for our next step, we're going to lightly prick the base with a fork. This helps it kind of cook more evenly and it won't rise up. We're going to line it with some parchment. Best way to do this is to fold it into a rectangle, then fold it again into a triangle, and then we're just going to measure it off the ring itself, tear off the excess, scrunch it up into a ball, makes it fit a bit better. And now you need to weigh that down with something. This is called blind baking. So normally you can use beans, you can use coins, you can buy beans for this. I just use rice. Rice is handy, most people have rice. So now we're ready to go into the oven. We're going to bake it like this for about 20-25 minutes. Then we're going to take it out. We're going to take away the paper, take away the rice. We're going to brush it with egg wash and bake it for another 3 or 4 minutes. Next, we're going to mix our ingredients for the mixture itself. So we've got in here my 3 eggs, my cream. I'm going to put in the goat's cheese, followed by the red onion and chopped nettles. I usually keep a little bit of the ingredients back just to kind of put on top. I find it makes it look nicer at the end. Good seasoned black pepper, good seasoned salt. Now turn your oven down to 160. We're going to cook it a little bit cooler for this stage. You don't want to overcook the eggs too much or it will be kind of not a very nice texture. So this is what it looks like before it goes in. You can see there's a lot of pastry overlapping, but I'm going to trim that over after it bakes. And the reason I do that is because you'll get a better shape around the outside. So this is it now after coming out. It's got a nice little bit of colour on the ghost cheese and I've trimmed off the edges. So I hope you enjoy, guys. Thanks for watching.